morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to What's Up 249. Look what I got. Ta-da! Look at it. Is that a bit glary in the sun? I don't think you're getting a very good view of it. Yeah, the sun's just shining off that beautiful titanium, so you're not getting a nice clear view. And also, it's not in the best shape, given that I've ridden it for all of about 10 seconds. That is the net result of my first little ride. I think you can say it's been well and truly christened. I brought it to its natural habitat, give it a bit of a thrashing through the mud. So there you go, it arrived, finally. And what it is a PlanetX Titanium Tempest V3 SRAM Force 1 hydraulic disc brake gravel bike. And as if you'd expected anything else, but I bloody love the thing already. Absolutely amazing. Like I say, I've ridden it for all of 3 seconds through horrible, sloppy, disgusting mud, sand, gravel, and it's just so much fun. And I've got so much confidence because of the width of the tyres and the nice cushion of air underneath me. It just feels brilliant. Speaking of the tyres though, I haven't ridden it enough to give you a full kind of pros and cons review. But what I can tell you are the things that really stood out as surprisingly brilliant and the things that were minor irritations and disappointments. And the biggest disappointment probably is actually the tyres. Not for comfort, because they are supreme, and from the second I rolled out onto the road, particularly on the road, they actually roll really well. I'll flip you around so you can see the tyres that I'm talking about. Yeah, they're actually very comfortable on the road and actually quite fast rolling. Which might explain why they're not actually that great on this wet mud that I've had so far. Fine on the flat, beautiful through the sand. Like I say, I was really confident, felt balanced and totally comfortable. But on the inclines, when the mud was a little bit sloppy, back wheel was wheel spinning a lot.
Now I'm definitely getting more wheel spin than I'd have hoped with these fat tyres on this gradient on wet mud. Only so much they can do, I suppose.
What they are is the Vittoria Randonneur Touring tyres, 38mm, and they are all but bomb-proof, apparently, but that comes at a cost, which is what my only real gripe is. This bike is advertised at 9.7 kilograms for a size medium, which mine is roughly, so sorry about the glare from the sun. I can tell you that those tyres weigh over 800 grams each, and the bike feels heavy because of it, because all the weight is in its rotational mass, isn't it? And I really felt it on the climbs, really felt it. The gearing's lovely. I've got obviously a 42 at the front and a 42 at the back, so sort of 1-to-1 ratio of climbing felt really nice, but I can feel the weight in those tyres. So you're talking 1600 grams just for the tyres. And like I say, they were clogging up with mud, so on the inclines the back wheel was spinning. So they are 100% going. I'm getting rid of those. I was probably going to anyway, because to be honest, the bike's crying out for some tan sidewalls. I mean, look at it. Imagine that with tan sidewall tyres. I know that's a personal preference and not to everybody's taste. This light is awful, isn't it? I really picked a bad spot to do this. So tan sidewalls is something that I think looks beautiful on titanium bikes anyway. So the most likely route I will take will be to go for the Gravel King, Panaracer Gravel King small knobs, which is the knobblier, wider version of what I'm running on my Specialized anyway. I've been really impressed with them on the Specialized, given that they're not really meant for what I've been using them for. So a thicker, knobbier version I think will work really well, and like I say, tan sidewalls. Plus, they weigh about 350 grams per tyre, if that actually, can't remember. Let's say 350, so 700 grams for the pair versus 800 each for these. So massive weight savings to be had there, and hopefully improvement in grip as well. Definitely improvement in looks. So that's the only major gripe. There's another minor one, but that's actually more to do with me than the bike. I have 3 bikes with 3 different systems for gearing, for changing gear. I have SRAM eTap, which is the 2 levers, 1 either side for up and down. Mechanical Shimano, which obviously has the small lever and the brake lever works for up and down on the rear derailleur. And now this SRAM 1x, which has 1 lever which you do a small click to change into a harder gear, and a bigger kind of double click to go back up the cassette into the smaller gear. And that's all fine. It all seemed actually very natural, very intuitive when I was first riding on the flat. Not a problem there. But as soon as I got to the climb, and as I mentioned, I was really feeling the weight on the climb, so immediately I've gone to the easiest gear. As the gradient then pitched up, I went looking for an even easier gear, as I always do. And obviously with a Shimano, you click the lever, if it's not there, nothing happens. With this, because it's like a two-stage click, if you're already in the easiest gear, it will then move you up a gear to the next hardest gear. So rather than just clicking it, oh no, I haven't got an easier gear, damn, it's clicking it, oh no, I haven't got an easier gear, and just to make things worse, I'm going to put you in a harder gear just to take your momentum away a little bit, and then you're going to have to manually move back to the easy gears. Right, on to the things that absolutely delighted me. First off, and you're not going to be able to tell it now because of the state I've got this in, the finish on these SRAM Force cranks and the chain set is absolutely beautiful. It's like polished carbon fibre, which I wasn't expecting at all. I know they do that with the Red, top of the range stuff. I wasn't aware it was the case with the SRAM Force stuff, but it just looked absolutely gorgeous prior to this ride. I also love the finish. Am I going to be able to focus on this? Almost definitely not. Can you see the brake caliper? And can you tell what it looks like? It's got a kind of a slight tealy, metallic, super glossy, anodized finish, and it just looks beautiful. Just look, the components just look really good quality, really, really lovely. The frame itself is just, I mean, it's just, you know, it's titanium. What do you expect? It's just absolutely stunning. Oh good, the sun's gone down a little bit. I didn't think I'd be saying that today. Even covered in filth, because that's what it's supposed to look like. I think it looks amazing. So before even riding it, I was chuffed to bits and over the moon with those bits. The flared out handlebars, let's see if I can get a shot of that. I've never ridden bars that flare out like this before. Don't know how well that's coming across, but it is a really comfortable position. And I'm wondering if it's going to feel weird when I go back to my normal road bike now, not having these bars flaring out, and the fact that the levers curve in so much, that actually becomes a really natural, comfortable position. Really, really nice. So I was very pleasantly surprised by that. Disc brakes, first time using disc brakes for me, really nice. I took it easy for a while and did a little bit of sort of bedding in with the brake pads, just some stop start stuff, just to make sure that all the hoses were bled properly and everything was set up properly, but they feel really good. And given the conditions I've been riding in, it's kind of strange not having to question whether the brakes are going to work when you pull them on. Still not completely converted in terms of using them on a road bike, because I think road bikes are fine with rim brakes personally, but for this kind of riding, they're an absolute godsend. Look at that, I can see from here, that's the best angle to show you the kind of filth I've put this poor thing through. Disgraceful. But like I say, this is natural habitat and nothing that a good jet washing won't sort out. So early impressions, absolutely love it. First ride, very, very comfortable, very confidence inspiring. What can I say? I can't tell you any more about it. The fit is very nice, very similar to my Specialized actually, slightly more upright, but then I've got a few spaces still underneath the under the stem. It's really good. A bit of consumer information for you, anyone that's interested. It came at $17.99 for the SRAM SRAM Force 1x group set. I think the cheapest model they do, I think it's 1,200 quid, maybe with a 105, Shimano 105, something like that. I'm now very much of the opinion that bikes should not have front derailleurs. They've been the bane of my life forever, because no matter how I tinker with its setup, at some point the front derailleur is going to piss me off. It's going to be rattling or just something, and they look stupid. So now I am a complete one-bike convert. Obviously I'm not going to be doing anything about my eTap on my Cervelo. I'm happy to leave that as it is, but I love the cleanness of the down tube, of the seat tube, without having a derailleur on it. I love the small front cassette and just the simplicity of it. What I do want to do, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I love personalising and customising things. I like them to be my own. I'm not going to paint the bike. Well, I mean, it's titanium. There's no way you paint a titanium bike. But some details in colour would look really nice on here. I've actually done a bit of a mock-up of what I'm thinking, and I'll pop it up now. And the idea of going with a pink rather than an orange is I have a bit of a hankering to kind of branch off the off-road adventure bike packing kind of side to WKG, and then keep the proper Zwifting, road racing and the actual team WKG in the orange, so that we differentiate the two. Mainly because I love the idea of pink highlights on this bike, so I'm going to try and gear a load of special WKG gravel, whatever. I'll come up with some kind of branding for it, based on pink and black and grey, because I think it looks wicked in this mock-up I've done. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I will probably do it in vinyl to start off with, and if I really love it, Mr. Wonkster, Stevie, I'll be on the blower, trying to tie your services down. Obviously I'll be looking for mates rates on your no, to be honest, I've seen the quality of your work in other people's videos, and I would much rather give you my money to personalise this bike than anyone else. So there we go. Right, anyway, I think I've stood here, waffled on about it enough, looked at it enough. Let's go and do some more riding.